Hey YouTube, how's it going? Chaos Emperor Dragons here, bringing you a test hand and combat video of the Dragon Link profile I put up last week. It's had quite a few views, obviously you guys are really liking it, so I thought I just kind of want to showcase what the deck can do, and then talk about points where you could be hand trapped, and then what you could do if you did get hand trapped at that point. So I'm not going to pick any particular cards, we're going to shuffle the deck and draw 5 cards as if we would in a match, and just kind of show how you would go full combo, or how to use those particular cards that you've drawn to see how that would work to get to the combo pieces you need. And obviously just show you maybe different variations, like, you know, you're not always going to have the correct combo pieces in your hand, or you might have drawn one of the bricks instead. So then, you know, it's how do you combo around that and still put out a board. So, cool. Decent shuffle, just cut it. Let's draw our 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, let's see what we've got. Got a Chaos Space, an Odd Eyes Revolution, another Chaos Space, and 2 Ash Blossoms. Actually, so this is actually a really interesting hand, and it's actually quite a good one to go full combo. So what we're going to do is we're going to pitch the Odd Eyes Revolution, and we're going to look for our Dark Worm. Oh, there you go, right at the bottom of the deck. And then we're going to activate Chaos Space, pitching the Dark Worm, and we're going to search for, you could actually search for either, because you'll have both a light or a dark in your graveyard, so it doesn't matter which way you go. Just add the first one that comes up, so the white one. Now, because Dark Worm's in the graveyard and you control no monsters, it can special summon itself out for free, and then we can link him off for our Striker Dragon, and then we can use Striker Dragon's effect to get the boot sector launch. Just search for that. There we go. And keep in mind, like, through this actual particular route, you don't really need to normal summon, so you always have that as a backup. So boot sector launcher we'll keep in our hand. We'll summon the Wyver Buster by banishing the Dark Worm, and then we'll link the 2 off into our Romulus. So now we have Romulus as Chainlink 1, Wyver Buster as Chainlink 2. So we'll search for our Black Dragon first. There we go. And then we'll search for the equip. I've gone past it already. There we go. Cool. So now, and from here, like, as soon as you've got to Romulus and that effect's gone through, like, you're in a pretty good spot. So, you know, these 5 cards are not going to be the combo pieces at this point. So, you know, we'll activate the Lance onto the Romulus, use its effect to equip the Phalanx, use his own effect to summon himself out, and then we'll do our link cross shenanigans, which then generates 2 tokens. So at this point of the combo, obviously you can still get Nibiru'd. If you do, you have an extender in your hand, and then you can kind of go from there. So it's not the worst point. But obviously if you get past this point, so using the tuner and one of the tokens into your Metal Marsha, then you bring back the tuner. And then from here, use the tuner and link cross to Christian Hydrofax effect. I know I'm saying the name wrong, but Needle Fiber effect to bring out the Red Rose. Okay, so now it's at this point your opponent has their last opportunity to hand trap you with either an Imperm or the Nibiru. If they had the Ash or Imperm, they kind of would have done it by now, and then you would have had to carry on extending in different ways. But if they haven't done it at this point, you're like, okay, so because your next point is to send the Red Rose and your last token to make your Herald of the Arclight, And wherever your needle fiber is, you do it on the opposite side. So if he's on this side, you summon him over here. If you've got your needle fiber over here, you summon him over here. So, you know, just keep an eye on your zones. And then because Red Rose was used for synchro, you actually get the white dragon out. There you go. And now you've got your link to with 2 dragons to use. Sorry, that's gone. So, and you've got a negate on the field. So you're in a pretty good spot from here. So we'll link off the white dragon for an LP. Link off the Dragoonity for the striker. And then, so from here, what I would actually be looking to summon, I know people will go for black metal and go that way, and I normally would, but I need a way to access Rocket Tracer, because I don't have one at the moment. Like, I didn't open one, and we haven't bought one out for our combo so far, so I need to be able to get one onto the field. So I'm going to use LP to search our deck to actually bring out our Rocket Tracer. Like so. And then we'll get rid of the LP and the needle fiber for the Buster Up. And the reason the Buster Up's actually quite a good card in this deck is if you're at the point where you get Nibiru'd, you can use the token as well as any dragon monster you have to still make this. And then you've got a dragon on the field and carry on all your other plays. So it does help, and because it's a generic link too that points down, it's actually really good. Now we're going to use our Rocket Tracer to make our LP, Pisty, sorry. Use Pisty's effect, we're going to bring back the same Rocket Tracer. And then we're going to link these 2 off to make our spheres. So now on the board, you've got your Arclight and you've got your spheres. So you've got 2 interruptions. From here, you could activate Beat Sector Launch, but as we don't have the rocket in our hand, doesn't really make any point. So we're going to bring out our Clap Serpent by banishing the white dragon. And then before we do anything else, we're going to resolve Chaos Space. So we're going to banish the Chaos Space to put the white dragon at the bottom of our deck and get a draw. So let's see where we go. And we've got the Chaos Emperor Dragons. That is quite a nice draw. He's quite nice for this deck for different reasons. So like, one of the reasons is you can put him in your Pendulum Zone, pay 1,000 life points, and then add a banished monster back to your hand. So we could add the Dark One back to our hand if we wanted at the moment. If it was like a rocket monster earlier, obviously that would be a much better situation, but you know, you play with what you got. And also, like, you can, once it's destroyed itself, you can summon it just by banishing a light or dark monster, so it gives you that extension as well, which is quite good. So what we can do from here is just check our graveyard. Okay, so we could just do the synchro into our Savage. Savage effect to equip the needle fiber, and then Savage will get 2 tokens. So it's got the 2 negates and it's got the attack boost now. And we can kind of leave it there. So, you know, we've got the Striker Dragon, which can destroy itself to add a dragon back to our hand. Oh, sorry, we get the draw for the white dragon as well. There you go. So it's not a bad board. You've got 1 disruption with the spheres, which will bring you out Brotar. Brotar you can discard to bring out, to add 11 here to your hand, and then you go from there. Then you've got your Savage and you've got your Arclight. It's actually pretty good in terms of anything your opponent sends from their deck to the graveyard or hand to the graveyard gets banished instead. So for a lot of decks, that just bugs them up, especially like dinos. Like if you're playing dinos, they need to be able to discard the miscellaneous into the graveyard for it to be unaffected for dinosaurs. And while you got this on the field, like they can't do that, it gets banished. So that effect doesn't resolve, which is quite good. So the only thing you'd have to worry about for if they just basically normal summon a monster to go and attack, the monster most likely will be Oviraptor, and then you can bounce it with your spheres. And then let's say they've got an evolution pill, they still won't be able to resolve it because they need to be able to banish from their graveyard. And if they've got nothing in the graveyard, UTC is not coming out. So, you know, you don't have to use negates on, say, Fossil Dig and stuff like that. It's like, go for it, use your Fossil Digs. But you still can't get anything in the graveyard. So that's like the main thing. Cool, so that's one combo. Let me reset and I'll bring you another. Cool. Hey guys, so just kind of reassembled everything. Let's just have a shuffle. Let's sort of get the next combo going. Cool. So shuffle again, cut. Let's see what 5 cards we get this time. Cool. So we've got a Rocket Tracer, World Legacy Guard Dragon, Chaos Emperor, a Starliege Safer, and a Quick Launch. So this is actually a very good hand. You're going to be able to extend quite a bit, which is quite good. I'm actually going to start with the Starliege Safer because I like having access to sort of the Chaos Dragons and they go really well. So I'm going to normal summon Starliege Safer. His effect to tribute himself to then go and find so that's the light, so we want the Black Dragon. There we go. And then we will special summon him by banishing the Starliege and then link him off for our Striker Dragon. There we go. And Striker Dragon and then Black Dragon. So Chain Link 2, Chain Link 1. So we'll search for the White Dragon first. It's a big deck, so it does take a bit of time to find them sometimes. There you go. And then the Boot Sector Launch, which I don't think I've seen. Oh, maybe not. We didn't open it. There we go. Cool. As I said, you just want to be in position to summon out the Banlist and kind of go from there. So summon out the White Dragon by banishing the Black Dragon. And now we can go link 2 into our Romulus. It's up to you where you put it, but just put it there. So now that we're going to search for Romulus, for the Lance. Now this is a bit good point where someone could gamma you or someone could ash you and you'd be like, shit, what we're going to do. So let's go with that, for example. Let's say we get ashed on this and we're like, okay, we got ashed. What do we do? So instead of then trying to go for the synchro plays and set up the Herald, you'd go for the generic Guard Dragon plays because you've got a Boot Sector Launch, you've got a Rocket Tracer, and then you can summon out your LP and Pistol, you can set up your Spheres, you can set up your Savage and go from there instead. And you've actually got another extender in your World Legacy Guard Dragon too, and you've got a Quick Launch. So then you would still be able to make plays. So you go from there. If they gamma you and destroy the Romulus instead, you can still do the Boot Sector Launch, summon out your Rocket Tracer, make a link 2, activate World Legacy Guard Dragon and your Quick Launch, and you still be able to get LP and Pistol out and combo off from there. So you definitely have options. And you haven't got a Black Metal Dragon yet, so you can still use LP to summon that off, link that off to get the Red Eyes Darkness, and just go from there. So we'll carry on the combo as if we haven't been interrupted. But I just wanted to kind of make that point that if you do get stopped at this point in the combo, you definitely still have plays. So we'll get the Lance, we'll activate the Lance, and then we're going to look for our tuner. Do I miss these things? What the hell? Oh, there he is. There you go. Crypt our tuner. Cool. So his effect, bring himself out. Then we'll link cross, which then brings out our 2 tokens. Use one of the tokens and our tuner. Bring our Metal Marshal. Bring out our Dragon Tuner again. Use Link Cross and the Marshal to go into our Needle Fiber. Needle Fiber effect to bring out our Red Rose. There we go. Synchro summon with these two to bring out our Herald. And as I said, you do it on the opposite corner of wherever it is. And then because Red Rose was synchroed, we get our White Dragon. So from here, we're in a pretty good spot. So we got LP, link that off for the second Striker Dragon. LP's effect. So this time, we're gonna go for our Black Metal Dragon. Just there. Take these two off again for our Destruction Whelp. Link off our Black Metal for our Pisty. And before you use Pisty's effect, resolve Black Metal and get your Darkness Dragon. There you go. Cool. Now you can activate Pisty's effect. And at this point, I don't play any other targets for Black Metal Dragon, so then it's really up to you what you bring back, because it's just literally a dragon monster. So I'm going to bring back White Rose. And then use Pisty and the Whelp to set up your Heavenly Spheres. Just about to it, but got the Heavenly Spheres. Then we can use our Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon by banishing the Striker Dragon, and then use his effect. So you could bring out the Rocket Tracer from your hand, but you got your Boot Sector launch, so I'd kind of save that, and I'll just bring out Red Eyes Dragon. I'm going to use both these two for a Union Carrier. And then I'm going to activate the Boot Sector launch to bring out our Rocket Tracer. Use Rocket Tracer's effect to pop it. And the reason I do that is because I want to keep my extenders if I get interrupted. So if I got interrupted, these were 2 extra extenders to play through. And obviously for the Chaos Emperor Dragons, I could bring back one of my banished dragons here. So most likely I could bring back the Starlage Seafet, and then I'll be able to summon him out by banishing a Lightning Dragon. So, you know, these are 3 extenders in my hand that would allow me to play. So, but I'd rather keep hold of them in case I got interrupted rather than just using them for the sake of using them. So yeah, resolve Rocket Tracer for, oh no. The actual preference target should be your Rocket Recharger. And the reason I say that is because it's got such a good follow-up play in terms of when one of your cards is destroyed, you can add it back to your hand and then discard it again to bring back a different dragon. So that works really well. So you kind of want it to be that target. Anyway, Synchro Summon for those two. For the Savage, Savage effect. Add the Needle Fiber because it's got the highest attack, so that'll give it the most boost. Then you resolve Union Carrier, attaching to the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. And the reason to do that is it just doesn't make such as vulnerable to attack. So let's say, for example, you know, you use the Savage Negate and then they kaiju it or something. Like, at least this way, if they try to kaiju the Savage, they're still locked out of the extra deck. And that's like, it is a floodgate at the end of the day. So then it makes it harder for them to play through. So yeah, that's full combo of what you can achieve with the deck. So we've got that Arclight, which is the Macrocosmos active. You know, so anything from their hand or anything from their deck they send to the graveyard will get banished instead. We've got our boosted Red Eyes with the extra deck Floodgate, which is quite good. Got a Savage with 2 negates and boosted to 3750. So that's pretty good. And we got our Spheres Disrupt as well. So use that to bounce something, summon out a Brotar, and that'll give us Levineer. And you can just play from there. And then you've got 3 very good follow-ups for the next turn, because this deck is just all extenders. So yeah, that's the combo, guys. Hope you liked it. Please like and subscribe. Let me know down in the comment section what you like, what you don't like, or what you think can be changed. I'll see you next time.